CST, live on Facebook and YouTube. Join us as we discuss pertinent issues that relates to you and I with your host Alinko.
Hello, everyone. You're welcome to the Progressive Mind Show. We shall be going straight to our guests in a little bit. Before that, we'll take this short break. When we come back, the show will continue. Today is Mother's Day, and we are excited to be coming your way. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We will be right back. Very talented young people who have decided to follow.
Then another year it starts again. Well, this is different.
We shall definitely be talking to those wonderful people. Once again, we urge you to share the feed on Facebook.
Hi there, I'm Faida, and today we're going to be talking about the African diaspora in Mexico.
Whether UK likes it or not, I have to leave this country.
I became a member and a chief of the Vice Lord all in one day.
All these guys wins right out of the north at Midway Airport.
His father.
Rice and beans. Okay, kids, we have had to come to an end of this beautiful set.
So we are tired.
It's not about this.
This is the inside account of a week that brought the Rainbow Nation to its knees.
Right, essentially trying to implement into this. Welcome again, all viewers out there. We are very excited. As I said earlier, this is the Progressive Mind Show. This is a Sunday edition. Wednesdays, every Wednesdays from 6 to 8 p.m. We're here discussing issues and engaging in dialogues that can bring positive impact to our society. My name is Alinko, and today we are talking. Today is Mother's Day, and we're doing a special for all mothers, as we always have done on this show, to honor mothers and women across the globe. It's May 8th, and it's a beautiful Sunday. We want to go to our guest this evening. If you just joined us, we are live on Facebook and on YouTube. Please share the feeds now so that you can call your friends and call in to share their beautiful mother stories, or even just say Happy Mother's Day to the mothers, loved ones, and whatnot. And so we want to have want to leave this second, want to encourage you all to do that this minute as we go straight to our guest to begin the conversation. We have Keisha. Keisha is one of our panelists this evening. We would like to get this a call coming through, but we want to say the number will be given out in a little bit for you all to call in. Please bear with us for now. While we get our guest going, we will give you the number in a little bit. But yes, we have Keisha Jones. Keisha Jones is a Chicago native. Welcome to she's the first time on the show. Keisha, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure. And then we have ANNETTE there, Mrs. ANNETTE there. She resides in Chicago. I'm not sure if she's a native or not per our conversation, but she resides in Chicago. Annette, there, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. And then we have Gifty all the way from Ghana. Gifty SARPONG, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. Okay, so we just want to begin. What the subtitle is: The Power of Motherhood. If we say power of motherhood, Keisha, what? Before we continue, though, anything else that you would want our audience to get to know about who Keisha is, what you stand for? Just a brief background about who you are, if you may want to share.
I mean, I'm born and raised in Chicago.
Okay.
My family is originally from the South, and I'm 30. I have 2 children. They'll be 11 and 8, and that's just about it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. At least we know a little bit background about Keisha, so we really appreciate for sharing that information. Mrs. Dare. This is Anna Dare. Yes.
Well, I'm Annette Day. I have a background in health. I've been a nurse for 20 years. I have 4 children, ages 14, 12, 10, and 7. I'm married to a wonderful man. He's a pastor. He's the senior pastor of Calvary Redemption Center, which is Skokie, Illinois. And I am the executive pastor. I love to see women empowered, and motherhood is something that I thrive on.
Thank you for sharing. Gifty SARPONG.
Hi, I'm Gifty Sapong. I live in Ghana. I spent the earlier part of my childhood in America. We moved back to Ghana in 1996, and I've been here so far, and I have 3 children, and I love being a mother.
Love being a mother. If we say, so let's go to the earlier question. If we say the power of motherhood, to you, what first comes to mind, Keisha?
Just ups and downs, like there's I can say, like, my personal experiences, I haven't had very many downs. I've had a lot of ups when it comes to being a mother, because everything I do reflects on, me being a mother. When I wake up in the morning, when I go to sleep at night, when I go to work, just about everything I do in my daily life, it's just about me being a mother. And, a lot of things that I do it for, not just for myself, but I feel like I have a greater purpose, which is my children.
Thank you for sharing. Mrs. Dare, for the purposes of this show, would you prefer Mrs. Annette or Dare, or just Annette?
Annette is fine.
Annette is fine. Thank you.
Yes.
When a man hears the power of motherhood, it may sound different to us because we have no idea what that role you guys play is. What is the significance, or when we say the power of motherhood, what does that mean to you as a woman?
Thank you for that question. When I hear the power of motherhood, what comes to mind, and I think for the men that are listening to kind of understand it, a seed is very powerful. If you have a seed, you cannot get fruit or a tree or a plant without that seed. So a seed is very powerful, but a seed without the right soil, it's nothing. And so when I think of the word motherhood and the power that comes with it, I see it as the soil that receives the seed. And so in order for a child to come to life and bring life into this world, the seed comes from the man. Of course, without the seed, there would not be the child. But just the seed without the soil or the right receptacle, that child will not be either. And so when I think of motherhood, the power of motherhood, I think of it from even the Genesis, from the beginning of conception to birth. And that is what the woman, the power and the way that the woman brings to the table.
How about you, Gifty? Thank you so much, Annette, for sharing. Gifty.
To me, to add to what Annette and Keisha have said, the part of motherhood means to me basically love and sacrifice, because a mother would love her children with her whole heart, and then she also sacrifice her whole world for her children. And then as mothers, we carry a lot of power because a mother is not just like a mother. A mother is a doctor. A mother can be a doctor to her children. She can be a teacher. She can be. She's everything. A mother is everything to her children. So as women or as mothers, we carry a lot of power. So that's what that means to me.
Thank you. And thank you all for sharing. And again, every time of the year, of this year, I mean, every moment, no, every season in every year, Mother's Day is celebrated, Father's Day is celebrated, all kinds of days are celebrated. But as humans, we understand the power in our mothers, or the power that our mothers carry. And so the whole world today is celebrating mothers, and deservedly so. On this note, I want to take a moment to, and I think what you all shared inspired me to do this. Typically, I do it before the show, but I was hyped to get into the conversation. But what you all shared makes me think about my mom, who's watching now. So, Ma Rebecca, I want to take this special moment to say a big, big special Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day to you. I know I called earlier to say it, but happy Mother's Day to you for the woman that you are, the mother that you are, for backing all of us, for loving all the four siblings the way that you have done, and being so prayerful for all these years. We really want to appreciate you. We don't always say it, we show it. We're praying that God will help us so we can show and say it more. Happy Mother's Day to you. Enjoy your day. And I want to also say happy Mother's Day to my beautiful sisters. Abigail, you have four beautiful children. God bless you for being a beautiful and a prayerful mother for them. My sister Bridget, God richly bless you. Happy Mother's Day. My sister, last sister Akofa, who is not yet, you don't yet have your children, but happy Mother's Day to you. Now that this takes me to my question. Is it, and sometimes we say happy Mother's Day to even women who don't yet have children. Reverend Dare, is it in the order? Is it in order when people do that? Is it in order, even though you don't have children? Is it? Yeah. Please help us respond to that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And today I had the honor and the privilege to share, to speak in our church as the speaker because of Mother's Day. And this is what I had shared, that the title of the message is "Who is a Mother?" And for those that are watching that are Christians and are familiar with the Bible, from Genesis 1 and 2 up until we get to 3, when the female version comes out, we see her called a woman. She's not called a mother yet. And the first time we encounter the word mother in the Bible is in Genesis 3:20, after the sin, or the fall, as I like to say. And that is when Adam looks at his wife and says, "Your name will be Eve, because you'll be the mother of all living." And basically, when I see a female, you don't have to necessarily have birthed a child, but a mother is one that steps in an atmosphere and gives life. And so any woman, as long as you're a female, you have the ability to give life. So to me, a mother is a female that steps in an atmosphere and is able to encourage somebody that's about to give up their dream. A mother is one that gets into a room where everybody's head is casted down and they're able to bring the light out in that room. And so you don't necessarily have to have birth biological children to be called a mother. Every woman that is able to give life to dead situations is what biblically is what we deem as a mother. So I say happy mothers to every female.
Thank you for sharing. Do any of you want to add to what she said? Okay, so
I think she said it all.
She said it all. Keisha wants to say something. Keisha, you're muted. Okay,
I agree. I'm sorry. Yeah. I agree.
Okay, so and then thank you for sharing. You earlier on also said something very powerful, which is you are an advocate for women empowerment, and we're talking about motherhood empowerment, or the power of motherhood. Is there are the two very connected? If not, what is the slim difference between the two?
Thank you for that question. I think it's for me, right? Because
Yes, it's for you.
all right. So, there is this concept of certain women that shy away when they hear the word empowerment. And particularly me being familiar with some, and I wouldn't say all African cultures, with some African cultures, there is a bad taste in some men's mind or mouth when they hear women's empowerment. It feels like it's a movement that wants to kind of say that the world belongs to women. But I don't believe that. I believe, just like I had shared not long ago, that every female has the ability to bring life. And so when I get into the arena of empowering women, it's actually educating them to identify who they are, that God has a plan for them, a purpose for them, and that they don't have to always be relegated in the back. It's okay to still be at the back burner, but the back burner still provides fire to cook the food or to provide meal for the table, right? So you don't have to be on the front burner, but you have to realize and know that you do have fire enough to bring a meal to the table. And so for me, that's what women empowerment is. Now, it runs in the same vein as mothering, because you bring life. And that's why I said it's not necessarily biologically bearing children, but to be able for us to encourage and equip every woman and educate women that there is life in you, and that life can step out when you are surrounded with the right people and you're given the right information and the right tool. So those two kind of walk hand in hand.
Thank you for giving us that great explanation to that. That was very excellent, and I think I get it, because I myself was I didn't know. I was trying to figure the two out, but that was very clear. Keisha, is it possible for mothers to love a couple of children, or maybe one particular child than the others?
Me personally, I believe anything is possible, but for me myself, like I have more than one. I have two, and even though like they're different, I love them the same. I love them, but putting one before the other, or the other, that's something that it doesn't even occur to me, because they're, at the end of the day, they are both mine. They come from me.
Okay.
So for me to favor one over the other is just, for me, it's just not gonna happen.
Is it possible for some mothers to do so though?
I believe it's possible. But I believe that it has
And
nothing to do with the children.
have you seen any mothers do that?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
Okay. But please go ahead. You're gonna expand on your last comment.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I feel that it has nothing like really to do with like the child per se. Sometimes it can be with the person they decided to make the child with, and sometimes things get taken out on a child or that person because of the background. So I believe, I very much believe that it's possible, but I don't think that it's solely because of that child. Like I believe that it goes deeper than that.
Gifty, is this same question to you, please?
Is it possible to
love a child? I mean, if you have multiple children, I mean, if you have more than one child, is it possible to love one than the other? Is there a high possibility that mother would pick one child over others, or maybe two over the others? And what would be the reasons why, if that's a possibility?
Okay, so yes, it's
Now,
possible.
Before you respond, right? Before you respond, the reason why I'm asking this is because of the abundance of love that mothers bring, and you all birth all of us. And so it makes you wonder sometimes if you have it in you anywhere to even not like one of your children, right? And if that is so, why? What will make you do so? If that helps the question, Gifty.
Okay, so it is possible for a mom to love maybe one child more than the other, but it's for me personally, I think that that's not the best. I also believe that and, our children are different and they have different needs at different ages. So the attention that I would give to maybe a newborn, I wouldn't give the same attention to my 5-year-old or my 7-year-old or whatever. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I love my newborn more than my 7-year-old. And I think as parents or as mothers, we need to make a conscious effort to love our children equally. Yes, they will have their differences and they'll have their different needs, but we should also do our best to love them equally, because we have I think 2 examples come to me very easily, and I'll take those examples from the Bible. If we look at the story of Joseph and his father favoring him and loving him more than his siblings, we see how that turned out. And then we also have the story of Jacob and Esau that we can refer to. So I don't think that's healthy for a mother to choose to love one child more than the other. As much as possible, we should try and love our children equally, no matter how. I know sometimes there might be that one child that will be difficult to love or to handle, but I think we should do our best to love our children, to show them equal love, because I think that also has an effect on the child. If the child feels or believes that he or she is not loved by their mother or their parent, it takes a toll on him. Thank you.
Good. Thank you so much. You made very great points. Something that I just picked up is the example of Jacob and Esau. For every Bible-believing person, that is a story we know. And that's why I asked the question earlier. If it's possible for a mother to like one child or to like a couple, some of her children than others, what will make her not like the others, or what will make her love the others? Which comes to the point, the Joseph and Esau scenario. Why would their mother, who is what's her name again? Rebecca. My mother is not like that. My mother is Rebecca, but she's not like that. What would make Rebecca do that? In her case, that mean, if there's, again, for those who believe the Bible, believe in the Bible, if that story is true, what would have made Rebecca do so? Because her actions showed that she didn't like Esau. So, Annette.
So my perception from my understanding of the story is because there was a tug of war, or for those women that have had a chance to feel babies move in their womb, there was this contention that she felt, and so she went to inquire of the Lord, as the Bible said, to pray and find out why there's this contention. And then she got what Christians believe, and a word that we use, a revelation, or if you're not familiar with that word, a deep insight of the 2 babies that are in her womb and what one is going to do and what the other is going to do. And so when she got a revelation that the younger will serve the older, I think by nature, when human beings, irrespective of who you are, it doesn't matter how humble you are, when you see a person that is going somewhere, or you know that there are some doors that's going to open for them, there's the affinity to draw closer to that person. And so when she got that revelation, in my personal understanding, it made her favor this child. And instead of leaving matters to God's hand to let that happen, she took it upon herself to love this one and ensure that that which she received come to pass.
Or someone who also interpret. No, thank you for giving that insight. And somebody also may interpret it as, Well, since now she knows the destiny of the two children, she was just trying to make sure that she can help that particular one fulfill his destiny. And so, you know, she, uh, she just did that, and it wasn't probably because she had any hate for Esau or something. I mean, so
Right.
somebody
And
would just
Alenko, if I can backtrace a little bit on that,
yeah.
we are looking at it as a Bible story, but it happens in reality as well. It happens in reality. Why am I saying that? That you may not have, maybe you're not even a Christian, and you may not have an insight as to what this child is going to be, but our children come out and we can see some mannerism. Oh, this child is very intelligent or intellectually. And so we draw to it, and that child, so to speak, become our golden child. And without saying, we are favoring them, and the other children may feel like. And so I believe it was Gifty that said that we have to be mindful that maybe this child behaves like me, but this child may have some challenges and they don't listen. They're a little bit hyper, and we may like the child that is quiet, and we draw to them. And that's where that contention may come, even between the children.
Thank you. Keisha, what would make you not possibly, I wouldn't say not love your child, but what are some of the things that your children do, or children in general do, that may cause mothers to want to distance from them? Is there anything that children may do that would ever make mothers distant from them? Is that thing possible?
Like I said, I believe it's possible, but the other young ladies were saying, like, I do agree with them. And to add to that, like me personally, like I love my kids equally, but I treat them different because they are different. Like my daughter, I do give her more attention because that's what I feel that she requires, because, as of now, I know you best. So, like I said, I believe it's possible for me. I just don't see my children doing anything that would just make me like, like just like forget them, like just write them off, or like bring some kind of distance, because at any age, like, I'm a woman, and there's times where I feel like I need my mom, so I believe that it's very important to have their relationship, to keep a relationship with your children, no matter how old they are, or even the things that they do, because moms give faith and hope. So if you can't look to your mom, then who do you look to?
Right.
So I believe that's very, very important.
Thank you so much. Again, let me push against deeper. Sometimes fathers leave, and sometimes it feels like it's very easy for fathers to leave, or men to just leave. But you hardly hear mothers leaving. What makes mothers or women stay regardless of the situation, and make sure they are there for their children no matter the circumstance? Is it a biological bond and giving thing that is a must, or is it a guilt feeling thing that, okay, I birthed this child, so if I let go, then I'll be guilty that I disappointed them, or maybe I didn't see to them living to their fullest. Is that which one is it? And if the two, which one is it? And secondly, are those two even realities? I just want you all to help us understand, some of these things, because I think about it, and a lot of people, I'm sure, also wonder about these things. I'll start with you, Keisha, and then we'll go to Gifty, and then Annette can respond to that, please.
With women, I feel that it's different. Like Miss Annette was saying, you need the man for that seed, but you're implanted in that soil. So I'm growing this human being in my body. I feel him, he or she. I feel the moving, their heart beating. just like, you know, I'm creating this life in me, and it's hard. Like, how do you leave something like that? You know, so I feel that it's very different. And to speak on men that, you know, men that do leave, I feel that a lot of times it's just about your character, you know, because a real man, like, this is my child, you know, I wouldn't leave. You know, that's the mentality of, you know, a real man. So for someone to just leave, it's, if it's that easy for you to leave, then maybe it's best that you should have done so. You know, but as a mother like me, growing this human being in my body, like there's millions and just tons of people, you know, on earth. Everyone comes from a woman, you know, a mother. So like I said, to grow this life inside of you, leaving is like, is, for me, it's just not an option.
It's
You know,
impossible. It's
it's not
impossible.
an option.
Gifty, thank you so much, Keisha. Thank you for that great insight. Gifty, please.
Okay, so if I understand your question, you're asking about if it's possible for a woman to leave her children.
Yes,
And this actually,
in that, like I said, men, when the man leaves, they can live forever and not ever come back to their children, even though that seed came from them. But for the woman, you hardly hear women leave or mothers leave their children. So what I'm saying is that what makes a woman, because the circumstances that may cause a man to leave may hit the woman the same way too, or even worse. But she would decide to stay and probably even lose her life, just, probably just lose her life than to leave that child or leave those children. So what I'm saying is that what causes that die hard spirit that I'll stay regardless? Is it that guilt? Is it that guilt that I brought this child, and then when I leave I have failed that child? Or because of that biological process that Keisha just expressed is the reason why you have this strong bond that doesn't make you want to leave? So we just want to be able to get into your heads, right, and see how you feel, so we can honor and respect you all more.
okay, so as a mom, I believe that the most difficult thing for a mom to do would be to leave her children behind, and I believe that that would be the last resort. And this is a difficult question for me because speaking from my own experience, at a point in time, my mom wasn't around, and which was very difficult for me. And for the longest time, I used to resent my mom because I didn't understand, and I felt like when I needed her, she wasn't there. But growing up and being married myself, I'm beginning to understand certain things. And what I would say is that you don't always, sometimes as children, we wouldn't really understand what exactly it is that would cause a woman to leave her children. And I believe that if it gets to the point that a woman has to leave her children, that would be the most difficult decision that she would have to take. And I know that um, it would take a huge toll on her as much as it would take on the child as well. So I believe usually we kind of judge mothers who leave their children, but I'm beginning to learn and understand that I don't think any mother wants to be separated from her children. So I'm beginning to learn and understand that if it gets to the point that a mother has to leave her children, I cannot really judge her reasons for doing that. So,
Okay, thank you.
but
Thank you
for
so much.
me, I would never leave my children.
Okay, and what will make you not leave your children ever?
The love that I have for them, and then my own experience growing up without my mom present. I
Okay.
wouldn't want that for my own children. So I would do everything that I can to make sure that I'm there for my children.
Okay, thank you so much. Annette, I'm tempted to call you Reverend Annette because you said you preached at church. So please, for anyhow I say it, please write with me, either Reverend Annette or Annette, or even I may even add doctor to it, But Annette, please.
So I think both answers are Keisha and Gifty answered really, really beautifully. The assumption is that, and I think usually the percentage wise, men tend to leave more than women. But in the role that I'm in, I've seen women equally leave.
Okay.
As Keisha shared, just because of the bond that is between a mother and a child, because that child, as you rightfully said, is implanted in you. You know, and it's not just implanted in you. You, the woman, give up so much just the moment you find out that you're pregnant. There are certain things, foods that you don't eat. If you drink, you happen to be somebody that drinks alcohol and you care so much, most women will put down the cigarettes, the alcohol, the drugs for the well-being of the child. And so that bond, because you know everything that is going to give this child the nutrition is attached to you via the umbilical cord that is attached to the placenta, which comes from the woman. And so even though at birth that umbilical cord is cut and separated, I believe that is the bond that makes it a little bit more difficult for women to leave than for men to leave.
Great points, ladies. Thank you all for sharing your stories. Let me ask. I know you all have received a lot of gifts and niceties and pleasant words from your family, friends, and loved ones by your children. What's happening today? Keisha, any special gifts from your children yet, or you're yet to go home to enjoy it? And if so, what are you expecting? Anything you want to share about that?
Well, they helped my mom like prepare dinner, and they do make cards, and which they're very, very unique because it comes from them. And I know that they put a lot of thought in it, so them being, such small, young, phenomenal little people, and to want to do this, I'm honored and very grateful.
That's beautiful to share. Thank you so much, Gifty. I know you. It's what 5 hours ahead, so it's about 11 p.m.
It's
in Ghana.
9:43 right now.
Oh, sorry.
It's 9:44 right now.
Okay, so for you, if there's some food you've already eaten it, did they help prepare the food, the cards? What's up?
So I've actually had a great day. In the morning, my kids woke up, gave me a hug, gave me a kiss, and wished me Happy Mother's Day. And I also got some messages from them from their tablets, written notes as well. And I had a great lunch this afternoon. So my day has actually been great.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Annette, please.
It's been a wonderful day as well. My children, I have little ones and one that's almost going to high school. So she loves to paint. So she made me a portrait and I love that. And on Mother's Day, the only gift I ask is to get sleep. And every Mother's Day, they let me do that. So that is the best gift, that the house is quiet and I can get to sleep.
That's beautiful. So you're going to be sleeping after the show?
I will be sleeping after the show. Yes.
Plenty of sleep. Okay. I think all children should do that. Let your mothers be today. Let them sleep. I think that's a good one. Keisha, you got to tell your kids to leave you alone today when you go home so you can sleep too, because you guys work. Sometimes you are up at 4 a.m. and the work doesn't stop. At this point, we'll take a short break. You are still watching the Progressive Mind Show special edition for all mothers across the globe. and I'm definitely dedicating this one to my sweet mother Rebecca. God bless you again for who you are, my sister Bridget, and Efua Abigail, and Akofa. This one is dedicated to you guys. Happy Mother's Day. Really, really love you guys. And let's see here what's going on. We will take this short break. We shall be back after this one. Stay tuned. When we come back, we will encourage you all to call in and share your beautiful mother stories, or just wish your mother or any woman in your life a happy Mother's Day, if you may. 815-277-5047. We shall be right back.
There is a cry. Aglo, Aglo, Aglo. Aglo Bolingbrook Lighthouse is a network of caring women. We are a dynamic global movement with a single mission to see God's purpose fulfilled on earth as it is in heaven. Our mandate is every nation touched and every heart changed for God. We invite you to our prayer meeting every Saturday and breakfast meeting held every last Saturday of the month from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. via Zoom meeting. For more information, please contact Dickness Rebecca Modi at 630-297-1471 or Reverend George Ofe Ado, our advisor, at 630-414-9505. We look forward to having a refreshing time with you in the Lord. Thank you and stay blessed. In my heart.
Well, we are back to the show, and we will go to our beautiful women today. We are celebrating all mothers, and today's a special one. We're talking about the power of motherhood. If you have some mothers, friends, and loved ones in your family and within your network that you would like to say some kind words to, the number is 815-277-5047. 815-277-5047. We will take another quick break, which is about the exchange ceremony. The exchange ceremony, for those who have not yet heard about it, the exchange is the diaspora coming together to celebrate our humanity and our beauty. This year we're going to be honoring Reverend Jesse Jackson. We're going to make him an African chief. We're going to be honoring him with that chieftaincy title for all that he has stood for and all that the things that he stood and fought for over the decades. As Africans in the diaspora in the Chicagoland, we're coming together to honor him in that special way. We will also be exchanging our cultures through dancing. So you're going to see Africans, Caribbeans, African Americans, South Americans coming on stage and performing a dance peculiar to that community. As we do this, as a bigger Black community, we get to understand and to see the similarity in our steps. We will share, we would eat food, we will drink, we'll have some drinks, we'll listen to some powerful speech from Dr. Melinda Harris Barrow, who's our special guest. We have the Secretary of State, Jesse White, coming. We have the son of Marcus Garvey that is coming. We have State Rep LaShawn Ford and other very important dignitaries that are coming. We are working in the background to bring a king from Ghana or Africa, somewhere in Africa, to come and do the coronation. And so currently we have about 20 chiefs, 20 local chiefs in the city of Chicago who have agreed to do this. In addition, we're bringing a chief from Africa. So this is going to be epic. It's very, very important that at this moment, the bigger Black community get to understand that we all have similar issues. We have one goal. And so we have to start working towards integrating our cultures and celebrating us rather than staying apart. And so we'll take this quick one again from which is our exchange. This video is not from all the content from this video you're about to watch is not from the previous exchange, which happened in 2019. But this is the story of what the exchange is going to look like. because this one is promising. It's going to be epic. This is history. It's never happened in the city of Chicago. It started in 2019, and we continue with it in a very big way. We're also going to be giving awards to a lot of people who have been working tirelessly in the communities, impacting folks and bring and uplifting others. So so the tickets are available at Eventbrite. Go get your tickets now. Tell friends about it. Go if you go on social media, the flyers are all out there. Keep sharing it, and we are working towards uniting and encouraging mutual respect for the bigger Black community in the diaspora. Very, very important. Everybody's doing it, and we looks like the Black community is the only one that seem to be living separately, which is not what it should be in 2022. So let's change the narrative. We can all do that together. Let's come back to the mothers. This day is dedicated to them, and we are glad to be speaking with GIFTY SARPONG, ANNETTE, and Keisha Brown. Thank you all for joining us so far. In a little bit, we'll bring the conversation to an end in about maybe 15-20 minutes. Let's find out some of the struggles, or walk us through your routine, your daily routine. Now, of course, not all the days, but what does a typical day look like in the life of a mother? Keisha, you want to share with us?
A typical day during the week. Once I wake up, sometimes I take my children to school. I'm usually the one that picks them up while they're at school. I do a lot of communicating with their teachers, their after-school program teachers, their extracurricular activity leaders. Then once they come home, I didn't prepare dinner. I didn't have time to prepare dinner for them, during the time where they were at school. And then after school, once they come home, I'm actually happy to see them because they have a lot of things going on, with school and, activities. So, we have dinner. We talk about what I did today, how their school day went. Did you learn anything new? Did anything special happen? We may, watch us a movie together. And then, like the day is ending and we wake up and,
you do it again.
Do it all over again.
In the midst of all of this, you have to work.
Yes. Yes, I do.
You have to work sometimes 8-10 hours a day.
Yes.
Then you have to attend to siblings or maybe your parents, yourself. You have to take care of yourself, right? In the midst of all of this.
Yes.
And I know you're writing a book.
Yes, I am.
What is that book about?
The book is about me, things I went through in my life, good and bad, friends that, I wouldn't say they're no longer friends. We're just not as close as we used to. And I actually have a friend that we're really, really, really close. We speak to each other just about every day. And we met through our children, so it's a lot about her, things with my siblings. I'm the youngest of everyone. I've had my own challenges, that I had to face with my own mom. Not saying they were bad, but there's still challenges. Things that happened like with, when I was a child, things that happened, to the kids around me. It's a lot, it's a lot in there, and I feel like I have a story to tell, and I think that a lot of people would be interested in hearing it.
What's the title of the book?
My life, my story.
My life, my story. Is there anything in that book, any chapter or anywhere in that book that you talk a lot about motherhood, the challenges and the good times? Is there anything like that in the book?
Oh, definitely. I when I found out that I was going to become a mother, I was 19 years old. And being the youngest, I was the one that I wouldn't necessarily say I have to worry about anything. I didn't have much to worry about. So, and I felt like I was, kind of still a child myself. Even though I was 19 and I was becoming a young mother, um, I had to prepare myself for that. So I really had to like buckle down, like, look, like now, you're gonna be someone's mom, like now it's a very, very rewarding job. But then being 19, and I'm like, man, like someone's gonna call me mom, like but I have amazing sisters. I have an amazing mom, and they're excellent when it comes to support. So I really, really had them to have my back and pave the way and show me that even though you're 19 and you're gonna become a mom, it's not all bad. And it turned out to be one of the greatest gifts that this life has ever given me. When I wake up, I just think about my children, and they're great, and they're me. They're a part of me, and to see them is to see me, and to know that they are as amazing as they are. That just sets a wonderful reflection, of myself.
Thank you so much for sharing. Gifty, same question for you.
So what a typical day looks like for me.
Yes.
So I'm usually the first one to wake up, and then the last one to go to bed. When I wake up, I would usually have my quiet time or prayer time. Then I would try to exercise if I can. I don't usually get to do that all the time, though, but I would like to exercise, get breakfast done, and all that. And I homeschool my 3 children, so the on weekdays, the bulk of my time goes into homeschooling my children, and I run a small business on the side. So if I have any orders, I take care of the orders after I'm done with my children as well. So basically, my life basically revolves around my children. So I would usually spend most of my time homeschooling them, and I'm learning and trying to make good use of my time, or trying to be more effective with my time. So I also try and find time to rest during the day, and then time to read or learn, like something that would add value to my life. So basically that's how my day looks like. And I think they usually say a woman's work is never done, because you'll be working from sun up to sundown. By the time maybe you think you've cleaned or you've done this, you might have think you've cleaned the living room and the place is all clean and all that. By the time you get to the kitchen and you're done cleaning the kitchen, you come back to the living room to meet another mess. So as mothers, I think our work never gets done. I also think it's important that we shouldn't be too hard on ourselves, always trying to make sure everything is perfect. We should always try and take time to rest. And I think Keisha mentioned having a support system. When you need help, don't be reluctant or afraid to ask for help. So
thank you so much.
That's what I would say.
Annette, thank you so much for sharing. Gifty. Annette.
My day. So I am the kind of woman that classifies myself as I wear 3 mother hats. So I am a biological mother. I liked the term I'm a social mother, and then I'm a spiritual mother. So my day starts off with me filling up my tank. So I wake up very early, and I spend time to just write, to read, to pray. I exercise as well. And then the day starts of getting my children ready for school. And then I do my work that I have to do while you're in school. I'm blessed now to work from home. For 20 years, I used to work night shift away from home, but now I do bulk of my work while they're in school. And then I'm blessed to partner with my husband. So he picks them up from school, usually drops them off, and then maybe has to go back to the office after homework is done and things like that. So we tag team and work together. So I can't just take the credit for that. And then in the evening, most of the time, if we don't have church service, then I'm there doing homework, looking over their schedules, checking emails to make sure I'm not missing anything from any teacher, trying to balance between 4 children and different teachers. Sometimes some things fall down through the cracks. So that's how I spend most of my days. I do a lot of school chaperone with the children as well. And then, so that's for my biological children. And then for my social children, I'm also online doing and getting calls in and just helping with things like that. And then I'm also called, I don't know how this happened, that I'm the mother of the child of the church. So I also deal with a lot of spiritual children, praying, walking through marriage counseling and things like that. So my day-to-day is very different.
Motherhood is motherhood. So like you narrated, regardless of these 3 areas that you mother, what is the most difficult point of any mother and the high points? Let's start with Keisha. The most difficult moment of a mother and the most high point of it.
I say for me, the most difficult point has to be discipline. Because, you know, you don't want to, you know, like as a mother, like for me, like I hate to be so hard on them. Like I hate to be hard on them at all, you know, but when a child does something wrong and when you have to take things away from them that they love or they enjoy, you know, like for me, it's kind of almost like, you know, it's a punishment within a punishment, you know. So for me, I can say discipline because I'm very loving, I'm nurturing, I'm very kind, and they know me as, you know, being, you know, the good mom. So when I have to, you know, like buckle down and like, okay, look, you know, this was not right, you know, so I'm taking this away from you. And so that for me, that's difficult. You know, the rewarding and the high points is, you know, when they are doing like when they exceed my expectation of them. I always hold high expectations of my children, but when they go beyond of what I expected from them, it's a feeling that, you know, you almost kind of get like tears of joy because you like, you know, these are my children, like this is me, you know. So for them to want to exceed their expectation, to make me feel, you know, beyond, you know, happy and grateful for what I'm already feeling for them is very, very rewarding for me.
Thank you so much. Gifty.
Okay, so for me, sometimes the difficult point will be not really thinking that you're doing enough. No, I think every mom wants the best for their children, but sometimes as mothers, we feel that we're not doing our best, or we worry. I feel like sometimes we worry a lot. We're so concerned. How are my children going to turn out? Am I giving them everything that they need? Am I, when it comes to education, am I putting them on the right path? When it comes to discipline and morals, am I putting them on the right path? So sometimes that fear of not really knowing how our children will turn out, or the fear of like failing as a mother, sometimes it scares me. But that also goes back to the point I made earlier, is that we should seek support, because sometimes you feel like you're not doing enough or you're not doing your best. I think at one point in time we would all feel like we are terrible moms, but I think it's good to have people around you who support you and then let you know that you're doing an amazing job all the time. I think there's nothing like a perfect mom. That we're all doing the best that we can. So I think as much as possible, we need to understand and believe that, and then also encourage other moms to do their best, because sometimes you would feel like you're in this alone and you don't really know what you're doing, but just for another mom or someone out there to tell you that you're doing an amazing job, it goes a long way. And for the rewards, just to see my kids happy, see them smiling and all that, it's very rewarding to see them excelling in school or being helpful, putting into practice something that I have taught them to do. When I see things like that, it gives me it gives me great joy and rewards. So those are some of the rewards or high points that I get from motherhood.
Thank you so much. You said seeing them helping. Is that, were you going to say seeing them helping around the house, like doing chores?
Yes, but like anything, like they go out and they're eager and happy to help others. And when I see things like that, especially if I have not told them to go and do that, and I see them taking the initiative to do certain things on their own, that's maybe I have taught them at home. When I see them doing that, it brings me great joy. It just makes me know that, hey, I'm sowing good seeds.
Powerful, powerful, man. Thank you so much. It's Mother's Day, and we are celebrating you all, but your words are blessing us, and thank you so much for sharing, Reverend Annette. It's your fault, you know, when you talk about prayer, spiritual mother, and all of that, you know, so it's not my fault. so Annette, go ahead.
So for me, the low, the low is to see my children hurt, whether it's my biological children or anyone that calls me mom. That when they hurt, I hurt. And so that is the most difficult part for me. When maybe in school, when somebody says a hurtful word to them, or they look and they feel like they're not doing enough and they hurt, I hurt. And so that's the most difficult for me. The most rewarding is just opposite of that, when they're excelling and in their terms, not my terms, or you see them thriving and happy, and a teacher gives them a comment that just brightens their face, or somebody gives them a comment and it just brightens their face. When I see my children hurt, I hurt. And when I see my children happy, then it's the most fulfilling part.
Okay. Thank you for sharing, but we are having a little bit of technical difficulty. My system just froze. So we asked our audience to bear with us. That's why we encourage you all to keep donating to Progressive Minds, because we have technical challenges. We need to upgrade our system, and we need the financial support. Okay. If you go to theprogressivemindshow.com, you can donate to us. We have 501c non-for-profit, and so you can help us in that regard. But right now, I can see anything on my computer is green. I know it's blue right now. So I know the folks watching us on Facebook and YouTube, probably can see me, but I can see nothing. So please bear with me. I'm trying to fix this. If we go off, we'll come back live again and try it and wrap up. And we were actually about to just wrap this conversation up. Can you all see me though?
Yes, yes, we can see you. We can see ourselves.
Okay. All right. So Annette, you're the pastor here, so please start praying silently. Okay. So so we know what's so I want to try this. Let me do this. I don't know, it's just went blank. It just turned blue. And it's never happened It's never happened to me. My computer's never have had to act this way. So okay, maybe time for. I know we've always needed support to upgrade our systems, but this one is very odd. Okay, so I'll say this. For the purposes so that because when I shut down the system, when we come back, we would have to restart, and it may cause too many technical difficulties. Let me ask you. I can't see, but let me ask you. And you all can answer real quick, and then we can end the show. Uh, Now, a lot of women have gone through miscarriages, and and all of that. Please help us to share. I mean, please share with us, if you may, the seriousness of, I mean, the effect of what miscarriages. I mean, the effect of miscarriages on women, and how it plays out in even giving birth to other children. How it plays on motherhood, actually. How it plays on you. How you go about your day. Does it affect you, and how does it affect you? I'll start with you, Annette. Since the system is not working, if you can make it snappy for us, Annette, and then Keisha, and then Gifty, please.
Absolutely. I don't think I've ever shared this outwardly before, but I've had a miscarriage. And so I know firsthand what it feels like. Again, I don't think I've ever shared it, but even though it's a loss, you've never held that child, but it's a pain that can never be erased. I am usually not one that stays in bed or let things get to me for too long, but I remember the day that I literally saw that baby come out, and I was in bed for days. And so I know that it takes a toll on women psychologically, emotionally, especially if it's a woman that has been looking and waiting and anticipating the birth of that child. And so it does take a toll, and it makes a huge difference what people say around them. Sometimes the best thing to say is not to say anything, but just to sit with them.
Does it have any effect on you at all during your motherhood duties? Does it make you love the other children that you have now even more?
I think it makes you appreciate life more. It makes you appreciate the child more, your living children more, because you long for that. And when you finally get that child, I feel like it makes a huge difference.
Wow. Thank you
for
so
me,
much.
For me personally.
No, thank you. We really appreciate it. Keisha.
Like Miss Annette was saying, I've lost a child myself. And at that point, I had one child. So for me to go to a hospital and to not leave with my child, it's a very, it feels like you're getting let down. It's it's like you're expecting something, and it's almost like for sure it's gonna happen, and then it doesn't, and then it's a very letting down feeling. It makes you feel like you've done something wrong. It's like you blame yourself. You kind of figure out like, where did I go wrong, and like once again, like Miss Annette was saying, there isn't anything anyone can say to you, even if they went through the same thing. There's just nothing that you want to hear. You just want to like recuperate, kind of, just sit there and in silence. But at that time, I did like I love my kids, and I appreciate them. And like I said, I had one child, and I appreciated him even more, because I'm just like, this could have happened this time, so it really makes me, I'm glad that he was here. And, like I said, when I went to the hospital, the last thing that I was expecting was to not leave with my baby. And it's a very It's an indescribable feeling.
Thank you. And again, does it make you maybe appreciate and love the ones you have more? Okay. I don't know if she heard me, but Gifty, same question to you.
All right, so I haven't had that experience myself, but I know a couple of people who have had multiple miscarriages, and from what I would say, or from what I have observed, it's not something pleasant. As that my other two ladies have said, in hoping for something and with all excitement and all that, and then not that hope being cut off or being cut short. It's something that would be very difficult, and then also take a huge toll on the mother. And I think, as Pastor Annette said, there's not much we can do or say to anyone going through such a situation, because I guess you would have to, even if you have felt that before, there's not much you can really do to say, but then the little that you can do, even if it means just sitting in silence with the person, as Pastor Annette said, I think like we should just be there for those kind of mothers, or for mothers who have miscarried their children, their babies.
Because statistics and Mami Nurse, Annette, maybe you may attest with me, because I think statistics show that most 50% of all first pregnancies end up in miscarriage. Is that true somewhat?
It's a very high percentage, yes. And a lot of the times women are not even they don't know that they're pregnant when they do miscarry.
Wow. And thank you all for sharing. And then the last question I'm going to ask is, we're celebrating mothers, but we also, so these are the things that make the power of motherhood very significant. Because if one person, an individual, goes through all of these things, and they are still here, and they are giving, they are smiling, and they are loving, providing, and impacting, that's some power that is unimaginable. You can't fathom it. And as a man, you cannot begin to even unravel, how, any individual can deal with all of this and non-stop. Okay, mothers don't stop, so it's powerful. Thank you so much for sharing. Last question is, do women prefer to have natural birth or C-section? Again, because of time, let's wrap it up real quick. Keisha?
I've never had a C-section, but with my first child, I had an epidural. My second child was just natural. It was just natural. Okay. And if I had to do it all over again, I would say I would just have them natural.
Okay. Please forgive me. I haven't had children yet. I was married before, but even that time, we didn't have, my ex miscarried, and we didn't have a chance to go through epidural and all of that. What is the difference between epidural and natural? Please, maybe I should be asking my sisters who have had kids, but now that I have you guys, you can help us, so that if the men who don't know can understand, because there's a lot of men, we hear the word, but we don't know what it does. So I don't know if Keisha wants to explain that to us, or Annette.
Sure. With an epidural, there was a needle, a very, very long needle, I can say maybe about this long, okay, that goes into your spine to numb you from like waist down, to make like the pain, not so painful. And at the time, like, I couldn't feel my legs, or I couldn't really feel anything. But the thing was, for me, it was actually harder to push. So when I had a natural birth, I just went right in, and like nothing, no drugs, no, medication, no anything, and it was still, I still felt pain with the epidural. I still felt pain with the my natural birth. But with the natural birth, I felt like my body recovered faster.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. And when you hear from other women, do they is the general consensus that maybe not, of course natural is natural. So do women most women that you speak to or hear from, even your mom, prefer natural to the three you mentioned? I mean the other two?
They preferred epidural. They prefer
Epidural.
epidural. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. Um Annette.
So working in that field,
Mhm.
most women come in based on what they've encountered.
Okay.
So you have the women that come in that have done the work and they want all natural, but the ones the pain gets very intensive, then they ask for the epidural.
Okay.
And so statistically, more women on this side of the world do take epidurals, but not so, because I've also had a privilege to work in Ghana as well. Not so much because it's not that readily available for an epidural, for them to get a epidural. So when over here, when you say natural, they're talking about birthing the baby through the birthing canal. That means they push the baby out as opposed to C-section. And so a woman can say, I had a natural birth, not necessarily mean unmedicated birth. And so medicated is to get that epidural or a spinal for a C-section. And I believe the first question was, do most women want? It depends. I've seen when I started nursing 20 something years ago, most women would come in wanting to have a vaginal birth for just, excuse my gravity, but because of my work. So so to have that birth. Okay. Now I see, again, as society is evolving, women feel like when they go that route that they are destroying their body. So we're getting more women coming in that are opting for cesarean section, not understanding that it's a major abdominal surgery and long-term effect that has more effect on your body than to push that baby out. And so it depends on the season, it depends on what's out there, it depends on what society is feeding, that women choose whether they want to go the C-section route or the natural birth.
Wow. Thank you so much. Let's hear from Gifty and then we can wrap up. Hello, can you hear us,
so
Gifty?
just to add a little to what they've said, I think it all comes down to choice. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so as I was saying, just to add a little to what sisters have said, I think it all boils down to choice or preference. Some would prefer to do it naturally. Some would prefer to do a C-section. But I think at the end of the day, for me, it doesn't really matter how the child was birthed. What matters is that you have a baby, because I feel like sometimes in society, especially sometimes the moms who do it naturally try to judge those who have elected to do a surgery. So I think the process doesn't really matter. It's each mother is entitled to her own choice. She's at will to choose what she feels is best for her. So that's where I stand at.
Awesome. Thank you all for sharing these powerful mother stories. Wow, it's what, it's close to what's it? It's 5 minutes to 5:30. And so we would wrap up right away. I gotta go see my mom too. So okay, so thank you for that feedback, Annette. Okay, you all can see me. And someone says okay, so we're getting the feedback. So if you can mute your, okay, quickly, 30 seconds, share your favorite mother child story. If there's any unique story that you want to share. If not, you can give us your closing remarks. Actually, let's do this because of time. Let's give our closing remarks, and in that closing remarks, you want to share your favorite mother child story. Let's start with Annette. No, let's start with Gifty. I'm sorry, Gifty.
Closing, I would just say to anyone out there that you're doing your best. Keep on doing your best. I think sometimes we don't hear that enough. So that's the little I would say. You're doing an amazing job. just keep up with the amazing work that you're doing.
Oh, thank you. Was that, I didn't hear you from the beginning. Was that for me? Hello?
Yeah, I was talking to the moms out there, but yes, you two are doing an amazing.
Because you know what, I can't see you, and so when all I heard is you were doing an amazing job. So I'm like, okay, and I know we're talking about mothers too. So that, thank you for clarifying that. Keisha, your closing remarks and for this episode of Special Mother's Day on the Progressive Minds. You guys have shared so many powerful stories and given us a lot of information regarding motherhood, and we really, really appreciate it. It helps us understand a little bit more what you go through, the sacrifices you make, and we hope that a lot of men are listening. Women can take some cue from it, and the men can also acknowledge the power that you guys have. So it helps us, treat each other better, more especially the men that may have not gotten it yet. So Keisha, go ahead.
A closing remark. Well, not so much as a closing remark. I just had a friend that pulled up, which is also an amazing mom as well, and she just gave me this. So if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna just introduce her, maybe like 30 seconds, because she's another amazing mom, and she's a mother of 5, and her name is Maisha, and this is hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Maisha, how are you?
Hey.
Can you hear us?
Yes, happy Mother's Day. Thanks for putting me on for a second.
Happy Mother's Day to you, Maisha. What did you get from your children today?
Well, I did receive cards and balloons.
Awesome. Ladies, is the camera on Maisha?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I can see her. So Maisha, we just talked about the power of motherhood for about an hour and a half now, sharing the stories. Tell us quickly, and you just came in and we are wrapping up, but tell us quickly, what are the high points and lows for you as a mother?
Well, the high points that I have is I have 5 amazing kids. One is my sister because my mom passed away. Support is a big thing. So if you got support, then utilize it, because without it, you probably not gonna, you're gonna have those weak moments. I say just stay determined, stay strong, pray about it if you get down in a moment, but keep going, never give up.
Thank you.
The low point is that we have these dads out here that get in when they fit in or something like that, but that can be probably the lowest point, because the kids go through so many emotions, and you also as a mother feel those emotions.
Wow.
But like I said in the beginning, just keep striving for the best. Don't give up.
Don't give up. How has God or spirituality helped you in this journey of motherhood?
It actually helped me out a lot, because it taught me how to calm myself down a lot when I go through different changes. I get sad a lot because I lost my mom, so I find myself in a area by myself sometimes when I'm just crying or sad, and I have to build myself back up. So I pray and I ask for strength, and I'm able to turn that around and rebuild my strength with the help of God, and I can go back out and deal with my children like nothing even happened.
Awesome. Last question for you, Maisha. I know a lot of men help, respect, and love women, but there's also a ton out there who don't get it. If there's anything you say to some men who are listening or listen to this show afterwards, after this episode, what would you want them to know about the struggle, the power, or just being motherhood, just so men can understand, especially those who don't get it? What would you want to tell them about motherhood that you need men to know?
As a man, I want them to understand that they should treat every woman as their mother. They watch their mother go through struggles. They watch them go through everything because they're right there with them. So just to remind you, the things your mother goes through, other women do as well. Always stick by their side. Never give up on them. Never turn your back on them. The things that you don't do is doubled on them. The things you don't do for your children is double, tripled on the mother. The mother takes on a lot. So if you're out there, men, do the best that you can with helping these ladies.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What are you going to eat for dinner for Mother's Day?
Oh, we got some cabbage and short ribs and macaroni and should I go on?
Yeah, no.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Maisha. Even though you
No
just came on, you've given us some powerful
Thanks
words.
for giving me the little time that I do have. I appreciate that.
We appreciate you for being the good mother and hardworking mother that you have been. Happy Mother's Day to you again.
Thank
Let's
you.
hear from Annette.
So what I would say is that no child comes with a manual. Every child is very different. And motherhood, as much as people have written books and we have parents or mothers that have gone ahead of us and support systems, it doesn't come with individual manuals. We're going to all make mistakes. It's like Gifty said earlier, there's no perfect mother out there. So let's please not beat ourselves down when we make the mistakes. Let's learn, let's get up, and let's build the next generation with the best that we can. Or giving up, get the information that you need to get. But remember this, no child comes with a manual. They're all very different, and we just have to learn and grow together.
Very powerful. Once again, I want to say a big Mother's Day to all of you beautiful women out there who are doing your best for your children and for the family, and also going to the extent of your families to support and build our communities around the globe. Happy special Mother's Day to you on this very fateful day. This has been the Progressive Mind special edition for all mothers. Next year, God willing, we'll be here to do it again. But the conversation continues. Respect for mothers, support for mothers for those who don't, honor for mothers for those who don't is very, very important. And we ask that God help us achieve this. Remember that June 4th, right here in the city of Chicago at the Rainbow Push headquarters, the Progressive Mind Show is partnering with Rainbow Push to bring you the exchange ceremony, which is bringing all Black folks together to celebrate our culture and our humanity through cultural performances, awards nights, and also a coronation of an African chief for Reverend Jesse Jackson. It's going to be a powerful evening. Get your tickets now at Eventbrite. On that note, I am going to get ready and head down to see my beautiful mother. And I want to say a few shout outs. I want to give shout outs to folks who join us on live. I can see some on my phone now. Dora Dawson Coker, Rebecca Modi, Emenla Afiba. Thanks for sharing, Gifty, on the highs and lows of motherhood. Ajoke Jojo, Pastor Annette, she's saying hi to you. But I can't. That's the only one that when the thing froze, that's the only one that I had on my cell phone, so I can see that. My computer is still not up. For all of you who are benevolent, and I encourage you to do so and share this to your friends. The Progressive Mind Show is a 501c. We need your support to keep this going. Next week, Wednesday, we'll be bringing chiefs from Chicago to talk about the essence of our culture and our chieftaincy. We need to bring that culture back. We need to pay reverence to some of these things. And so coming Wednesday from 6 to 8, we shall be here. By God's grace, we will fix the computer. But for now, I want to thank you all for being part of the show. Please continue the conversations in your home, and then we'll see you next week, Wednesday. Remember to whom much is given. Now, I want to thank Reverend Annette, Mrs. Reverend Annette Day, Keisha Brown, Gifty SARPONG, all the way in Ghana, and Maisha, who just came on, for sharing your stories. God bless you. God bless your families. Again, remember, to whom much is given, much is required. I have been your host, Alinko. See you again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, ladies. Have a good time at home today.
You too.